It is 4:00. I will call to order this meeting. Please stand to sing our national anthem. Please be seated. We'll begin with the roll call.
Mayor Sue Patterson,
Present.
Deputy Mayor Warren Dickert,
Present.
Councillor Harold Fleet,
Present.
Councillor Dave Hawking has sent his regrets, Councillor Carol Hudson,
Present.
Councillor Brandon Cable has indicated will be joining us shortly, Councillor Susan Zackel.
Present.
Thank you, Vicky. We do have quorum, so we're good to go. The land acknowledgement. As we work toward reconciliation with Indigenous people, we begin our meeting today by respectfully acknowledging that we are situated on the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe Nation, the people of Three Fires, known as Ojibwe, Odawa, and Potawatomi nations, and further give thanks to the Chippewas of Saugeen and the Chippewas of Nawash, now known as the Saugeen Ojibwe Nation, as the traditional keepers of this land. So welcome to our regular council meeting for Monday, June the 1st, 2026. Good afternoon, council, staff, guests, the viewing public, and the media. At this time, I'll ask if anyone, members of council, has a disclosure of pecuniary interest or a conflict of interest. Seeing none, if one should arise during the meeting, you may declare it then. So item 5, agenda additions or deletions. I will just advise that our HIP apprentice winners will also be sharing a presentation as part of the delegation. Item 6 is our health and safety message, and this message reflects the town's strong commitment to safety of both staff and residents. It is intended to raise awareness of potential risks, encourage safe practices, and support the prevention of injuries, illnesses, and fatalities. And our message is brought to us by Deputy Mayor Dickert.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Worship. Our message tonight is about 4 misconceptions about youth and workplace safety. As many young people begin new or seasonal jobs, it is important to remember that the risk of injury is 4 times higher during the first month of work. For this reason, workplace health and safety should be discussed with young workers both at home and in the workplace. Encourage young workers to ask questions and seek guidance. This is a normal and expected part of starting a new job. First misconception, the job is low risk, so I don't need to worry about safety. No job is completely risk-free. Hazards exist everywhere, in every workplace, including offices, retail, and service environments. Being alert and preventing complacency will lower chances of injury. The second, injuries only happen in high-risk jobs where people cut corners. Workplace injuries can occur anywhere and affect anyone. Common injuries such as slips, trips, falls, strains, and sprains happen across nearly all industries. Remain observant of surroundings and hazards to minimize likelihood of harm. The third is workplace injuries won't happen to me. Workplace injuries can happen to anyone, even those who take precautions. Staying aware and prepared can help reduce the risk. And the fourth, it's the employer's responsibility to keep workers safe. Employers must provide a safe workplace while workers follow procedures, use equipment, and report hazards, making safety a shared responsibility. Following safety guidelines and promptly reporting any hazards or unsafe conditions helps maintain a safer workplace for everyone.
Thank you. Item 7, we do not have a public meeting, so we'll move right on to our delegation. And I will ask April Marshall to introduce the delegation this afternoon. April?
Thank you, Your Worship. So this afternoon's delegation is about our HIP Apprentice Municipal Youth Challenge. Our HIP campaign is part of our retention and attraction efforts. And this Municipal Youth Challenge was created as a way to support youth retention and engage young people in our community. We want to empower our local youth to develop innovative, practical solutions to real municipal and community challenges while strengthening civic engagement, leadership, research, teamwork, and presentation skills. So I was very pleased to be able to work with our local high school, JDSS, and the grade 12 University Introduction to Kinesiology class led by Miss Amanda Moss, who's also here this evening. So we had a total of 8 student groups explored community-focused topics, including combating senior isolation, future-ready workforce, downtown revitalization, trail system guide ideas, youth retention, and climate action. So the winning entry was on downtown revitalization, and that was by Ali Mars and Preston Kirkarian. We awarded an honorable mention to Avery Moore and Hannah Bishop for their project on senior isolation and loneliness. And a concept spotlight award was presented to Ava Griffin and Shelby Timbers for their Lantern Light Festival concept in recognition of its creativity, youth appeal, and strong potential for future exploration and implementation. We had a panel of judges made up of municipal staff, and we had scoring criteria. We were all just very pleased with the quality of the students' work and thoughtful way they participated and approached these complex issues. So without further ado, I would like to welcome the winning team on downtown revitalization, which is Ali and Preston, and they are going to share their project with us. Right there.
Okay, perfect. I'm Ali Mars.
And I'm Preston Krikorian.
And we chose downtown revitalization.
So our main goal was to explore ways to make Hanover's downtown more active and inviting by identifying gaps in current businesses and suggesting new ideas that encourage people to visit, stay longer, and return.
Another main goal of ours was to strengthen downtown Hanover by improving its overall environment, variety, and sense of identity, so it feels more vibrant, complete, and appealing as a central part of the community.
So our key focus areas were business development, public space and design improvements, events and community activities, marketing and promotion, and student discounts.
So our design and public space and design improvement was more like adding more art and nature and seating. So for art, it'd make it more appealing to the eye on any wall or something, and it just bring more media to the town. And then for nature, it was flowers, trees, or any plants just around downtown, just to make it more calmer, nicer, and then it's better air quality as well. Seating would be more like benches and then bike racks as well. I have 2 younger brothers, and they go to McDonald's a lot, and they don't have any bike racks, but they don't have a car. So they just leave their bike outside and hope no one steals it. But it's not safe, and they might not have a way back if someone does. So I think bike racks is a really big one.
So not only just the aesthetics of downtown Hanover, but we also thought about making sure it's accessible and inclusive to everyone. So focusing on improving it for people with physical disabilities like wheelchair users and people who are visually impaired. So some ways we were thinking to do that were making sure there's tactile paving at crosswalks and improved audible pedestrian signals, because we do a pretty good job in most areas, but just making sure that's everywhere. And then for wheelchair users, making sure there's like ramps everywhere, just so that it's functional for everyone and very safe. And not only for the disabled, but for people like of all ages, like seniors and young child.
We also did social media. So I know the news has everything for our town, but our upcoming generations are mostly on social media, including Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. So I was thinking more of like an Instagram page to show like our art, our nature, just downtown in general, and then having like a hashtag, like hashtag My Hanover Downtown would be really good, just because not many people go on the radio anymore with Bluetooth or read the newspaper.
So something more specific that we really want to include was a signature sign or landmark. And Hanover does a pretty good job with like art around on the walls, as you can see in one of the pictures. It got a little cut off, but you really like recognize Hanover. And I think it's important to have such like a signature sign or landmark to create like a stronger identity for Hanover and be able to like differentiate it between all the towns, because I feel like there's a lot of small towns around here, and having something like Saugeen Beach or Sauble did a really good job with their Saugeen Beach sign. I feel like it puts a really positive image, and when people are taking pictures in front of it and all of that, it just it makes more people want to go there and visit.
Perfect. We did student deals and opportunities. So student deals would be having deals at Walmart or Dollarama or just downtown businesses to keep the money rolling in the town from children instead of going off to malls or online shopping like most do. It's students often have limited money doing part-time school and then also sports on top, which normally we'd pay for as well once we get to our age. So I think it's really important to have deals for kids because we don't have enough money for like normal price things. Then again, we also put down downtown day or wellness weekends. Downtown days would just be deals and activities for everyone just to keep money in small businesses. And then wellness weekend would be like spa deals or health booths just in places so that moms could go and have like a little discount, a little weekend to themselves, or like a girls' day.
So we didn't have a pinpoint idea for festivals, but just thinking about something that is kind of unique to Hanover, having a seasonal or yearly festival or carnival, just to draw more people in, to get more foot traffic around Hanover, and to get people out of their houses to do something and look forward to. That could be like live music and concerts, or even involving food, because we have like multiple different diversities here, and having like cultural festivals.
We also did community activities like an outdoor yoga gym, I'm sure, or a yoga class, sorry, that I'm sure Lyft would do, or charity runs or more pet-friendly places. Like I know we have that place at the soccer fields, but I wouldn't be aware of that place unless I played soccer. And then we also have our farmers market, which I wasn't aware of until recently. So I feel like that also goes on the media, like having posts about it and more posters around town and stuff. Me and Preston also thought of a day. It's called Chalk Day, where we leave chalk out on the side of the road once a month or a week, and it would just encourage people to bring out their children to draw, be creative, and show kids that they have a place to come back to and be creative and have a safe spot for them.
So then for pop-ups and development, we could have went one of two ways with this. So one way is just for small businesses to kind of have like a free trial to see what it would be like, and how many people they would get if they had a business here. And I feel like it also goes hand in hand with getting people more to walk the streets and see all the other local businesses. And another idea is something to do with we can't have like a Starbucks here, obviously, but if we even had one for the weekend, just as a limited time, I'm very confident like young kids, all ages, honestly, would just love that. And it would get like more people going downtown Hanover and seeing all the local businesses.
And that's all we have. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. You've put a lot of work into that and some great ideas. Council, comments, questions for the delegation? Deputy Mayor Dickert.
Thank you, Worship, and thank you. Very, very well done. It's nice to see the youth engaged and coming up with ideas, and certainly a lot of good suggestions there. And hopefully we can find ways to bring that to fruition, and you can be rewarded for all your hard work. So thank you. Congratulations.
Councillor Sacco.
I too would like to express my congratulations to both of you for your project. Your timing is wonderful because we're doing our downtown plan right now. And I made lots of notes on what you were saying today. So thank you for sharing and congrats.
Councillor Fleet.
Thank you, Worship, and thank you for that report. Really well done. A couple things you touched on there was like online shopping, which is hard for our businesses to our main street, and when people are buying online rather than going into a local store. And I think that's something, we got to work on, downtown Hanover, shop downtown Hanover rather than online. And I like the other point was a carnival. I'm probably one of the older ones sitting around here, and Mayor Patterson, I remember days when we had our penny carnival. The Rotary Club put it on. That would be a great event in our community. So thank you so much.
Okay, and we do have a certificate to present, and we'd like to take a photo if that's all right. That was very well done. Okay, moving on with our agenda. Next is 9.99 is the council minutes. 9.1 is the regular council meeting minutes from May the 19th. I need a mover and seconder, and I have two items to highlight. And I'll take Councillor Sackle and Councillor Fleet. So on May the 19th, we approved the decommissioning and removal of the 7th Avenue water tank, which was originally constructed in 1957. The work was awarded to IQ Environmental Incorporated at a cost of $336,000. We also received a financial update on the new Hanover Police Service Station planned for 443 10th Avenue, which is the former fire hall. The proposal outlined the 15,500 square foot two-story building that includes additional space requirements. It also includes an accessible public washroom on the east side of the building. This was a recommendation in our strategic plan, so that's good to see that. And we approved the revised project budget of $11.3 million. So I'll ask if there's any errors or omissions. And if not, I'll call the question. All in favor? That is carried. Item 10 is business arising from the minutes. If there's anything you'd like to discuss about that set of minutes. Seeing none, we'll move on to item 11. This is our consent agenda. And I am going to suggest we pull 11.7 and 11.8, and I'll ask council if there's any other items to be pulled. Councillor Sackle.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'd like to pull 11.1, Music in the Square 26th season, and 11.3, the Canada Day plans.
Okay, anyone else? Seeing none, so the remaining items, I'm not going to list them. I need a mover and seconder, Deputy Mayor Dickert and Councillor Fleet. This is to accept the items listed on the consent agenda to be received for information. All in favor? That is carried. So we'll move into 11.1, and I need a mover and seconder, and this is to receive this report for information. It is report ED 1226. The subject is Music in the Square for the 2026 season. It's from April Marshall, our Economic Development Manager, and it is moved by Councillor Sackle, seconded by Councillor Hudson. And Councillor Sackle, if you want to speak to it or ask April too, you're more than welcome.
I think April would be happy if I do it, so thank you, Your Worship. So in April's report, she pointed out that this is our 6th year having Music in the Square. I'd forgotten it was that many years, April. And it's going to run on 2nd and 4th Saturdays of June, beginning June 13th through to August the 22nd. And I wanted to pull it so that the listening audience knows that we have some new performers this year. It's going to be, of course, in Heritage Square, running from 11 in the morning till 1 in the afternoon. But the lineup has a real diverse range of local and regional talent. And featured performers will include He Said, She Said, an award-winning pop rock duo, May Ip, a folk singer-songwriter known for her storytelling and international influences, the Ruthven Sisters offering close harmony folk music, Dave Menard, a seasoned performer covering well-known hits across decades, Emily Power and Rick Fairburn, a dynamic pop rock duo, and Lisa McEwen with Steve Wilkinson, bringing recognized Canadian country music experience to the square. A key enhancement this year is going to be an expanded program on June the 27th. So we're going to have our typical Eat Well market, but we're also going to have a new resident welcome event happening that day and Canadian Multiculturalism Day celebration. And through the recent boundary adjustment, Hanover's newest residents have been invited especially to attend this event. So that's pretty nice. In addition to a live musical performance, May Ip, the event will feature children's performers, Maddie Sings and Petunia the Clown. So she'll have balloon twisting. There's going to be some interactive and family-oriented entertainment, and the Saugeen Artists Guild will present an exhibit, further integrating local arts and culture into our program and enhancing opportunities for community engagement. Thank you.
Very good. Any questions or comments? Councillor Hudson.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'm just wondering, April, if you could expand on the plug and play programming. That's a term that I'm not familiar with, so maybe you can explain that for me.
Yes, thank you, Councillor Hudson. This is just my way of trying to showcase that we're trying to create that environment for other groups to come play with us. So essentially, we want to build on the excitement of what's happening in the square, and we want to let others know to plan their events around it so that we have greater impact and we have a greater attraction. So an example of that would be our expanded programming on June 27th, the way that we're bringing in the Saugeen Artists Guild, we're expanding our entertainment, we will have the new resident packages to hand out as well, and that's all happening while the farmers market is occurring. So we've seen a lot of success in this last year when we were able to provide that opportunity for others to come and participate with us, plan their events, coordinate it together, all the while attracting people downtown and building awareness.
So if some of the service clubs or other people wanted to partner with that particular day, do they reach out to you?
Yes, please.
Okay, I don't see any other hands raised, so I will call the question, and that is to receive that for information. All in favor? That is carried. So the next one to be pulled, 11.3, this is report PRC 0426. The subject is Canada Day 2026. It is from Laura Kristen, our Director of Parks, Recreation and Culture. And I need a mover and seconder to put that on the floor. Deputy Mayor Dickert and Councillor Sackle. So Councillor Sackle, did you want to highlight that, or shall we ask our CAO?
I'm quite happy to highlight it. Thank you, Your Worship.
You go right ahead.
I think it's important that people know what's happening for Canada Day 2026. And after last year's success at the splash pad in the town park, we're going to do it again in that location. This year's Canada Day will feature a variety of family-friendly activities, entertainment, and community events. So some of the highlights will include opening remarks from the mayor and the town crier, followed by the Grey Bruce Singers performing O Canada. There'll be live entertainment throughout the day, including a children's entertainer and performances from local musicians on the main stage. Family activities will include inflatables, children's games, balloon twisting, temporary tattoos, and interactive activities. A family activity hosted in partnership with the Hanover Public Library will occur. And the town emergency services vehicles will be on display for opportunities to meet our local first responders. And finally, cookie decorating and an open house will be hosted by Youth Unlimited YFC Hanover at the Deck Youth Center, which is right beside the splash pad. There'll be food and refreshments available for purchase throughout the event, including a community barbecue hosted by the Hanover Rotary Club, as well as yummy Lance kettle corn and snow cones, and a funnel cake food truck will also be there. And besides all of that that's happening at the town park, I want to remind our listeners that the Curling Club will once again host its annual Canada Day breakfast from 8 to 11. Tickets are $15 for adults, $8 for children under 12. Thank you.
Any questions or comments about Canada Day? Lots happening. I remember last year we needed water. It was very hot. So bring water. You can probably purchase water too, but. Okay, so next I asked for 11.7 and 11.8 to be pulled. Oh, sorry. I didn't say all in favor to receive the Canada Day report. Carried. Thank you. Okay, 11.7 and 11.8, I check with the clerk that we can do these two together as they are similar. So I need a mover and seconder before I highlight the two letters regarding the trails. And I'll take Councillor Fleet and Deputy Mayor Dickert. The first one is correspondence. This is 11.7. Correspondence is from Bruce Eddington, and he is writing regarding the East End Trail. I'm going to summarize the key points of his letter for the record. He begins by thanking Council for allowing residents to attend and observe the May 4th meeting. He notes that the presentation by Alina Rakoff provided what he felt was a thorough and balanced overview of the issues surrounding the trail, and he expresses appreciation for the long-standing vision that has shaped Hanover's trail system. He observes that many neighboring communities are expanding their trail networks and questions why Hanover might consider reducing ours. He expresses concern that the earlier decision to cancel the East End Trail may have been influenced by a small number of residents, and he acknowledges the mayor's comments about the importance of broader public input. He also notes his disappointment with what he perceived as limited discussion following the presentation and emphasizes that in his view, a 500-meter natural trail is a meaningful community asset that cannot be replaced by a sidewalk. He points out that the trail has been part of long-term planning and that in many communities, homes back onto trails with privacy addressed through fencing or hedging. He concludes by stating that this matter affects the town's long-term vision and environmental values, and he respectfully urges Council to reopen discussion, seek broader public input, and reconsider the cancellation. The second letter, the second correspondence is from Vicky and Richard Emmerich, also regarding the trail. They thank council members who visited the proposed trail location and express appreciation that council considered residents' concerns. They state their confidence that the decision to explore a sidewalk option was made independently and not due to outside pressure. They commend council for remaining objective and open-minded and encourage council to proceed with the sidewalk alternative to complete the loop. They note that, in their view, a sidewalk would be safe, maintained year-round, and would avoid removing additional trees or disturbing wildlife in the area. I'll ask if there's any comments with those letters of correspondence. Seeing none, I'll call the question to receive for information. All in favor?
In favor.
Thank you, Councillor Cable. That is carried. Item 12 is staff reports requiring action. The first item, 12.1, is PW 1226. The subject is the proposed backflow prevention program and draft bylaw. It is from Andrew Wilkin, Director of Development and Infrastructure and our CBO, and I need a mover and seconder to put this on the floor. Deputy Mayor Dickert, and Councillor Sacco. Andrew?
Thank you, Your Worship. As the municipal water purveyor, the town provides safe, reliable, and high-quality drinking water to consumers and is legally responsible for continuously protecting its municipal drinking water system from potential contamination under the Safe Drinking Water Act 2002. The Ministry of the Environment, Conservation, and Parks, the MECP, have been urging municipalities to implement backflow prevention programs as another multi-barrier protective measure to ensure municipal water distribution systems are free from potential contamination. Currently, there are around 65 municipalities in Ontario in various sizes that have implemented such a program. Within the Building Code Act and the Canadian Standards Association, both have introduced similar backflow prevention requirements. However, standing alone, there are some limitations and gaps in the system. This protective gap in coverage can be filled by a municipal backflow prevention program that allows municipalities to intervene and ensure that risks and public safety are consistently evaluated. The implementation of the proposed backflow prevention program and bylaw provides enhanced protection for the town's municipal drinking water system. Under typical conditions, the town's municipal drinking water system, the normal direction of potable water flows from the town's pressurized municipal distribution system into private property owners' plumbing or building systems. As the municipal water system is operated under continuous positive pressure, water rarely flows backwards from the privately serviced into the municipal system. Backflow refers to the rare circumstance where contaminants may potentially enter the municipal water distribution system from private water services. Backflow is defined as a reversal in the direction of flow where water may flow from the private plumbing into the town system. Backflow can occur when either back siphonage or back pressure occurs. When backflow occurs, contaminants could threaten the safe, reliable, and sustainable supply of water for its residents. Currently, prevention of flow of non-potable water into the potable water system through the use of backflow prevention devices are installed in accordance with the building code. In absence of the bylaw that's proposed here before you today, the backflow prevention devices are only required currently to be installed where a new building is being constructed and the current plumbing requirements must meet the construction code of today, or plumbing changes are occurring with an existing building that is requiring a plumbing permit ultimately. Therefore, to address any existing buildings of non-compliance, a bylaw and subsequent program would be applicable. Of note, we currently do receive many backflow prevention reports from many of these existing commercial or building that ultimately would fall under this program, even though we don't have a program, so to speak. In Ontario, nearly all of the municipalities with backflow prevention programs charge user fees for different elements of the program to recover the costs. Town staff have reached out to an external service provider to assist in administering the backflow prevention program for the backflow prevention device reports. This service provider is cost effective for the businesses and for the town. Each identified services that is deemed to be part of the program will need to register with the administrator, submit test reports, ensure that they are qualified contractors. Each tester must provide a license and necessary certificates and test reports. The total cost to the municipality is approximately $1,595 per year and a one-time implementation fee that first year of $595. Based on the amount of properties which appear will qualify to meet the requirements of this program, the program would become cost recoverable, and any rates and fees proposed would be proposed in the rates and fees in 2027. For council's information, order of magnitude, it's about 75 properties within the town that would fall under this backflow prevention program. The link to the strategic plan is safe and reliable infrastructure and open and responsible government. The recommendation is that report PW 1226, proposed backflow prevention program and draft bylaw be received, that council adopt the new backflow prevention bylaw to regulate the installation and testing of backflow preventers as described in this report and in the attached draft, and that the new administration fees to regulate backflow preventers be added to the future 2027 fees and charges bylaw. And I will answer any questions that you may have. I also have Jamie McCarthy here, Manager of Public Works, and Ted Knapp, our Chief Operator, is online. Both of them did considerable work on this report.
Thank you, Andrew. Comments, questions? Deputy Mayor Dickert?
Thank you, Your Worship, and thank you, Andrew. I'm just curious, you said there's about 75 properties that this affects in town. Do some of them have a backflow prevention installation in place already? And so there's less than that would have to add this, or what is the breakdown there?
Through Your Worship, yes, many do have a backflow already, and we receive reports on some of them, test reports. This would at least cover that missing portion that either have it and don't provide reports, or just don't have it altogether.
Other comments or questions? None online. Just to be clear, this does not affect residential.
Through Your Worship, no. It may affect some multi-res apartment style depending on the size of the service, but for the majority, no, it will not affect virtually all residential.
Okay, good. All right, I don't see, Councillor Cable, go ahead.
Thank you, Your Worship. Thank you for the report, Andrew. Just wondering, are you looking at phasing this in, or how would the requirement be implemented? Like, will businesses have a certain period of time for them to get the work done?
Through Your Worship, we would speak to the administrator of the program and decide what that timeline would look like after we have rates and fees kind of in place. They would receive a notice. Ultimately, they would have a timeline, and we would continually follow up until the conditions of the program were met.
Okay, so since we're discussing this now and rates and fees won't be until late in the fall, will businesses be given a heads up that this is coming for 2027 in case they wanted to be proactive?
Through Your Worship, yes, we staff could work towards providing some notice in 2026 for the incoming 2027 program.
Excellent, thank you.
Okay, I don't see any other hands raised, so I will call the question. All in favor of PW 1226?
In favor.
Thank you. That is carried. Item 12.2, this is report PW 1326. The subject is the water meter replacement program and advanced metering infrastructure. It's from Andrew Wilkin, our Director of Development and Infrastructure, and I need a mover and seconder to put this on the floor. Councillor Fleet and Councillor Hudson. Andrew?
Thank you, Your Worship. The town owns and operates the water system, which provides safe and reliable drinking water to residents and businesses, as discussed in the previous report. To accurately monitor and bill the water meter is installed at each customer location. The primary function of the water meter is to measure the amount of water consumed by customers and to facilitate fair and accurate billing of the water and wastewater services. Additionally, these meters are relied upon to ensure the appropriate revenues are collected to fund water and wastewater operations as it relates to replacement costs. The water system runs as a self-sufficient utility with the expenses of running the system, including capital projects, entirely funded by the customers of the system, and it is therefore vital that the water meters are reading their true values. As water meters age, the potential for inaccurate readings increases. The industry standard for replacement of water meters is about 20 to 25 years. The town has a backlog of aged meters currently that need replacement. In addition, the software that we currently use to read the meters is expiring and becoming obsolete within the next 3 years, as technology has advanced, obviously, and will no longer be updated. The town initially installed water meters from 1991 to 1993. New technologies have emerged to provide the system with several options. These include complete cellular system, radio read systems where staff would have to drive past each home to collect the data, or the possibility of installing radio frequency equipment on existing standpipes or high elevations for data to be collected and populated through an office system. Currently, 70% of the town's water meters are 25 years or older and need replacement, regardless of the technology advancement or not. As mechanical meters become older and parts wear down, the meter may become less accurate. The town only maintains 3,139 domestic water meters, ranging from 5/8 of an inch to 6 inches. There are two main technologies that enable the water department to perform remote readings of water meters: advanced metering infrastructure, or AMI, or AMR, advanced meter reading, are the two options. AMI uses a fixed network that regularly collects water consumption data from all water meters in this service area. AMR uses mobile data collection devices that are affixed to vehicles or carried on a handheld device for the same purpose. The distinct difference between the two technologies is that AMI reads consumption data from all meters through near continuous contact without assistance from a worker. AMR requires a worker to physically pass to collect that data. Removing the need for a water treatment operator to drive or walk by homes would assist in saving hours spent, and that could be allocated to other water or wastewater operations. AMI networks deliver dedicated town-owned infrastructure that supports high level of customization, reliability, and security, allowing for tailored data collection. Staff researched other communities that have completed similar projects quite recently, and the table below is a conservative estimate for the project, broken down in a per meter cost of $870 per water meter. Both scenarios are estimated with new meters, smart points, installation, and software. Funding options to complete the water replacement can be completed from reserves or a combination of reserves and capital fund and rate funded capital budgets. Those options can be further broken down following some tendering results, potentially in a follow-up report. As a chart on table 1 denotes, page 55, total residential water meters 3,122. The 1-year option is the full cost at $2,717,000, and option 2 is simple math, I think, is just that number divided by 2. There are pros and negatives to both phasing options. The recommendation is to complete an RFP and procurement in early fall of this year for a meter replacement program for the advanced metering infrastructure, the AMI system, and also include a focus on software interface development. The results of that RFP will be brought back to council and incorporated in the 2027 budget. Staff are intending to go out with the 2 options so that there's pricing for it to be done in 1 year or be done in a phased 2-year option. It doesn't matter to staff how it's completed, but perhaps it's a cheaper option one way or another based on resources and the respondents. Additionally, we will need to update the existing 1991 bylaw that is included herein and mention some additional requirements for maintenance and replacement and access provisions, among some other things. The link to the strategic plan is safe and reliable infrastructure, healthy and welcoming community, open and responsible government. Sorry. And the recommendation is that report PW 1326 water meter replacement and advanced metering infrastructure be received for information. That council directs staff to undertake the procurement of water meter replacements with a standalone AMI system, and that council directs staff to bring back proposal results for subject award to phase the project and for budget approval. And I will answer any questions as well. Jamie and Ted are also on the call.
Thank you. Open it up for discussion. Councillor Hudson.
Thank you, Your Worship. Do you have any, I have three questions. Do you have any idea how many hours of staff time it requires to do what we do now with the drive-by meter readings?
Through your worship, it's about one full-time employee for about a week's time per month.
And will there be a cost to the residents to have their meters replaced?
Through your worship, directly, no. Indirectly, all water projects, capital projects are rate funded. So in a roundabout way, yes.
Okay. And my final question is, I just need an explanation for what you have put in here about one of the potential negative impacts, logistical fatigue and scheduling requirement on page 56. If you could just Cole's notes that for me.
Sure, I can answer that. With the meter reading, with the new meters happening for like 2 years, we would then have to just progress to splitting the town up like north and south. So making sure we can get access to all those homes and splitting them up properly to change out the meters. That helped at all.
Through your worship, it just drags the process out, and sometimes it's maybe that's where the
Well, they can't do them all in one day. No, it just, and that makes perfect sense. I'm just looking at it going, what?
So are you saying it's over a period of 2 years this will occur?
Through your worship, I intend we'll get a price for both. We might get one that a firm provides a price that ultimately is cheaper to do over 2 years for whatever reason. Highly unlikely. But we will gain pricing on both options and bring those to council to see. We're hopeful it could be done in one, and the pricing could reflect that.
But physically to replace, how long does it take?
Through your worship, it would take 1 year.
Okay, good. Any other comments or questions? Councillor Fleet.
Thank you, Your Worship, and thank you, Andrew and Jamie. Town staff, they'll install? Or will you use a private company to install these? Like, will there be a cost to hiring a private company to install, or will it be just all town staff installing these meters?
Through your worship, yeah, it'll be a third party. It'll be a third party, and that's ultimately what they'll bid on that RFP program for us. Yeah, no, it's too much for our own town staff to accommodate.
All right, last call for questions. Councillor Hudson.
Thank you, Your Worship. So once this new system is in place, the AMI system, who's utilizing that information? Is that done at the water treatment center, and or is the hour or the 1 week that we're saving on a worker going out, that will then be used to compile all that data?
Through your worship, there will be some administrative savings, in the office that helps compile some of the information for billings. The bulk of it, though, is the operators that are driving around town doing the readings. It will give them some more time actually at the facility to do other tasks.
And so how is the information, where is it collected? How is that happening?
So it's cloud-based system. So our utility clerk can easily just access that data and also the water treatment plant. So if there's issues going on, both can see what's going on, and it's just a click away.
Thank you.
And just lastly, and this system will provide our residents some ability to go in and see where their own readings are and their own uses are. It might give them a little bit more information for themselves too.
So can you just emphasize the part where we're going to have true readings compared to the reading that may not be as accurate as it gets older on the water meters, just so people are aware that their water bill may go up because you're going to have the accurate readings.
Yeah, through your worship, I guess maybe that's the bad news of it all. As the meters are aged, they lose the ability to maybe read a true meter reading or true usage. And I would anticipate when new meters go in, they're more accurate. And that same user using that same amount of water may see an increased usage. That's simply a better technology and an updated system that's picking up that usage.
That will be something we will need to share with our residents. So, Councillor Hudson?
Does it ever go the other way?
Your worship, if you use less. No, I don't think meters are generally picking up by accident more than you're actually using currently.
Okay, I will call the question. All in favor of PW 1326. That is carried. Oh, sorry, Councillor Cable.
In favor.
Thank you. That is carried. Item 12.3 is report ED 1126. The subject is the Business Retention and Expansion Action Plan Roadmap. It's from April Marshall, our Economic Development Manager, and I need a mover and seconder before April highlights the report. Councillor Cable, do you want to move that?
Yes.
Thank you. And seconded by Councillor Sacco. April?
Thank you, Your Worship. So I'm pleased to present the Business Retention and Expansion Action Plan Roadmap this afternoon. Before highlighting the actions, I want to take a moment to ground this and how we got here, because that's really what makes this roadmap meaningful. In 2025, we directly engaged 61 local businesses across multiple sectors to understand their current conditions, challenges, and future plans. That input was then tested and strengthened through multiple layers of engagement, including Chamber of Commerce member discussions and live polling with members, a workshop led by our Economic Tourism Cultural Development Advisory Committee with survey respondents and other business community members, as well as regional partners, and then follow-up validation with our committee members as well. So what we heard was very consistent. Businesses told us they are invested in Hanover and many are looking to grow, but they are navigating real constraints. These include workforce availability, housing, limited space, rising costs, and difficulty navigating approvals, permits, and available supports. Just as importantly, they told us how they want to see action happen. There was a clear preference for practical, visible, quick wins, better coordination rather than entirely new programs, opportunities for collaboration and networking, and supports that are easy to access and understand. Success from their perspective isn't just growth, it's stronger collaboration and fewer businesses quietly closing or selling. That feedback directly shaped both the priorities and the phased approach you see in this roadmap. So as far as phase one goes, quick wins, building confidence and momentum. We start with actions that are highly visible, low barrier, and build on what we're already doing. So for example, refreshing shared promotions. And I'm purely using this as an example, is shop local campaigns. We're very successful in those, but maybe there's an opportunity to continue to grow and evolve them, trying to tie them to seasons or other special events, as an example. Enhancing business highlights by updating imagery, creating theme spotlights, and coordinating messaging across partners to better showcase our business community. Continuing our Saturday activations, building on the success of the Farmers Market and Music in the Square to create more vibrant and collaborative downtown experience. We are also introducing a business-to-business matchmaking and local procurement efforts, helping businesses connect and source locally, something identified as a medium-term opportunity with strong impact. And we began workforce actions immediately, such as graduate outreach and youth engagement, helping students see career opportunities locally, encouraging them to build their future here. These are all intentional early steps to build trust, demonstrate responsiveness, and create momentum. Phase 2, which is that 6 to 12 month reducing friction period. That phase focuses on something businesses were very clear about, making it easier to do business. This includes introducing a business navigation or concierge style support, helping businesses better understand permits, approvals, and funding opportunities in one place. We'll also support succession awareness, working with our regional partners, expand peer learning and networking opportunities through the Chamber of Commerce, and better align community improvement plan communications with the budget cycle so businesses know what's available and when. This phase is about improving clarity, predictability, and access, reducing the friction that businesses told us they are experiencing. Phase 3 is at 12 to 24 months, scaling what works. As early actions take hold, we scale them. This includes more structured succession programs and matchmaking, recognizing the growing need to support ownership transitions. A space readiness and matchmaking approach, helping connect businesses with available properties while identifying gaps and opportunities. And we are doing these things, but I think it's just more about creating that program and that structured approach, and then therefore being able to measure our success more clearly. There's also a workforce connector event, bringing employers and service providers together to strengthen recruitment and retention efforts. We'll also integrate actions of the downtown plan, addressing practical operational concerns raised by businesses through that process, like access, signage, and maintenance. Long-term enabling conditionings for growth. Finally, the roadmap addresses longer-term conditions that require coordination and investment over time, so that workforce supportive housing, infrastructure and public realm improvements, and ensuring we have employment land and space ready for growth. These align with what businesses identified as critical to long-term success. Overall, this roadmap reflects a shift from identifying challenges to coordinated, phased action. It's grounded in what we heard, validated through multiple partners, and designed to be flexible. It's important to note that these actions may evolve as opportunities emerge, partnerships strengthen, and budget considerations are brought forward. Much of this work builds on existing efforts while amplifying and aligning them to create greater impact. Ultimately, this positions Hanover to respond to immediate needs while building a stronger, more connected, and resilient business community. There are no direct financial implications associated with this report. It also aligns with Goal 2, Healthy and Welcoming Community, and Goal 3, Strong and Vibrant Economy. And the recommendation is that Report ED 1126, Business Retention and Expansion Action Plan Roadmap be accepted, and that Council approve the BRNE Action Plan Roadmap, endorse the phased implementation approach outlined therein, and direct staff to incorporate the roadmap actions into departmental work plans and consider future resources and budget implications through the town's annual budget and planning process. Be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, April. Open for discussion. Deputy Mayor Dickert.
Thank you, Your Worship, and thank you, April, for your report and work on this. Certainly glad to see the CIP mentioned in there. I think that's a really great tool to help our local businesses improve their operations and even to attract new businesses. So certainly a key point there. I just wondered if you could just maybe expand a little bit on how we assist in the business-to-business networking. Like, is this working with the chamber or other groups to allow these businesses to come together? Is there more that we can be doing versus what we're doing now, or what's happening locally?
Yeah, thank you for that question. Yeah, I agree. Like, having really good tools in our toolbox and promoting them widely is really important. And that is something that was learned through this whole process, was just maybe a business community not being aware of what is available to them. That is why we wanted to bring in the local partners to the event we had, local resources, so they could share what kind of business supports they have available, so that everybody is aware. So another example of that is, and I would just highlight that as an example for business-to-business networking, is it creating those events or creating those platforms to start those conversations and build those connections. So it's resource sharing, it's maybe facilitating actions at an event that we can start these conversations and build these relationships. It's really having that coordinated approach to bring these businesses together, but also, yes, not intending to duplicate any efforts either. So wanting to work with the Chamber of Commerce. Is there a way that we could build in some of these exercises into events that they're already coordinating and to further build that networking and that collaboration amongst businesses? Those are the kind of opportunities that we'll be looking for.
Just as a follow-up, so you see like your role here playing a strategic part in this business-to-business networking, like more than we are already, or just kind of status quo?
Well, no, I think like what this roadmap is intended to do is create those opportunities in our work plans. So I think just looking at, yes, what is existing, what can we build on? But if we identify the need to start something new, then that would have to be considered at that time as well. But from my perspective, it's really like, you know, the Mayor's Breakfast for Business is another great example. How can we build some of this into what we're already doing? And then again, going back to our partners, like it's been great to build the relationship with the Hanover Chamber of Commerce. They're inviting me to their meetings now. I'm being more involved in their planning process. So like this is one of the first things I'm going to be sharing with them. And as we discuss what their plans are, then I can really promote, okay, well, this is what we heard in the business retention expansion. This is what we identified in our roadmap, and then see if there's a part of opportunity to align those efforts.
Councillor Cable.
Thank you, Your Worship, and thank you, April, for the report. I think it's nice to see that we have actionable items coming out of all the survey work that was done last year. I know that there's a lot of time that was spent gathering that input, so glad to see that there's some items that are coming out of there to implement. I'm wondering, April, if you can provide some more information on the business navigation and approval concierge. What do you envision for that role? And is that a new person, or that's kind of redefining what somebody maybe is currently doing?
Yeah, thank you for that question as well, Councillor Cable. Yeah, not intending to create any new roles here or additional work. It's more about, again, we talked about like tools, like having tools in our toolbox. Well, this could be a toolkit. So it's around the communications, for example. So how do we better communicate what the building permit process is, what those deliverables look like, what that timing looks like, and then having that information, not saying that we're not already doing a good job, but it's just based off what we've heard, maybe there's opportunities to strengthen how we deliver this information or creating a place to put it all in one spot. So that is more easily accessible for our business community.
Okay, so is there a defined person that businesses would contact if they have questions about things like permits or zoning or approvals? Like, is it kind of focusing that a business could directly contact X person to get questions answered, or you're seeing it more as a resource hub that businesses could go to and access that information, for example, online?
Thank you, Councillor Cable. I think it's a combination of the above. So Andrew can speak to this, but the building department, there is strong support there and questions are answered easily. But I think it's just about, again, like, is there a communication piece that we can create that specifically speaks to this and can be distributed widely? But yeah, building on what the building department is also doing, and I won't allow, but Andrew, if you'd like to speak to that, please do.
Yeah, through your worship. Yeah, Councillor, usually they contact me directly if they're looking for a permit, and if they require a planning application prior, kind of as we've always been that one-stop shop. I thought, I feel like we do a good job at navigating that. So, I was a little surprised at the comment that has come out of this, but if pulling together kind of a toolkit or a development document that's kind of a one-page guide to help somebody understand, we don't mind putting that together. But to answer your question, If somebody's looking to develop, they typically call me for a permit or a planning application.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah, if I could just add, what I learned through this process as well is, and what these recommendations are stating, it's not that we're not doing this stuff, but it is how do we amplify what we're doing so that more people are aware? Because as I just mentioned too, when we did the workshop, I learned through this process, a lot of the business community don't necessarily know that SCDC is in Newstead and that they have loan programs and that they will help with your business plan, or that Grey County has the Business Enterprise Center. So, or what role the Chamber of Commerce plays. So these are looking at ways to highlight and amplify what is happening so that it's just more clear for people, because we all know people get busy in their day to day, especially business owners. They're wearing so many hats. Their time is limited. So I think we're just picking up on some of those notes that they've made on how we can support them a little bit better, or enhance our communications, or create these tools, or build things into events so that more awareness is had about some of these processes.
So maybe that's a topic for the mayor's breakfast. Councillor Hudson.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'm just curious how you're going to compile all of these wonderful things into some sort of a catalog or whatever, so that a business person will know who to reach out to. For example, reaching out to Andrew, or who do they reach out for grants or financing, so that it's not just a pick through our contact list if you need this or that or something else. And then I guess my other question is, how are we going to gauge the success of this project? Like, what sort of tools have we got in our toolbox to decide whether we've put our money where our mouth is, basically? Because we've kind of been ongoing with some of this.
Yeah, through your worship. It's as far as addressing where people can find this information or who to contact, we have that structure on our website, but I think it's just when we're creating these enhancements, it's how we highlight them on our website, or how we create promotional information that we're taking out to events, or if it's on a conversation, we have maybe a little postcard or something that, hey, did you know that we have this toolkit available, and this will make this easier for you. So it's finding those opportunities. It's building with our regional partners their knowledge of what we have available as well. So for example, we work with SCDC on our community improvement program. They're aware of that. They actually have a low interest loan program that they've accompanied with that. So it's just continuing to build those connections and share that information out. And I don't know if it's necessarily one magic spot that addresses all BRNE information, but it's finding the appropriate place and just really enhancing that information on that through that applicable outlet. But having said that, we also have a BRNE webpage that I'm going to build out further with this roadmap and tie some stuff back to it. So that's part of the work. And there is a performance measures aligned with success definition page in the roadmap. So basically what we're taking a look at is we're trying to measure how many businesses are participating when we're executing some of these campaigns or workshops, those kind of participation rates. It's tracking specifically, so I'll use succession planning or planning and matching as an example as well. I know, again, going back to SCDC, Community Futures offices are about to launch a succession planning program. So we're working closely with them, and we are able to measure, how many businesses we're engaging through that process, how many they're supporting, if there's any business matches that were made. If we're creating toolkits, it's how many toolkits have been printed and distributed. Through the downtown plan, we're going to be able to map and track those action plans as well and report back on them, just as we do with our strategic plans. If it's a workforce event, how many employers are we supporting? Was there any connections that were made? So we're just trying to put those metrics so that we can track the success of these programs and bring it all together, just as we do with the strategic plan.
All right, I don't see any other hands raised, so I will call the question for report ED 1126. All in favor?
In favor.
That is carried. Thank you. Item 12.4, this is report CL 0726. The subject is appointment to Board of Management for the Downtown Improvement Area. It's from Vicki McDonald, Manager of Legislative Services and Clerk. And I need a mover and seconder to put that on the floor. Deputy Mayor Dickert and Councillor Fleet. Vicki?
Thank you, Your Worship. The Town of Hanover received correspondence from the Board of Management of the DIA indicating that they had a business move out of the downtown business area and thus have a vacancy on the board. Our appointment procedure is laid out in section 20.1 of Procedure Bylaw 3338-25, and it states that all council appointments to various boards, commissions, special bodies, and other statutory positions shall be made at the required time by resolution of council or by a mayoral decision in accordance with the powers vested to the mayor under Ontario Regulation 530-22. Under mayoral decision MDE-2025-02, Mayor Patterson delegated that authority to council. Accordingly, as per the attached recommendation from the board, DIA Board of Management, they are requesting the appointment of Jess Hasty of Unique Finds to fill the vacancy on the Board of Management for the remainder of the 2023 to 2026 council term. There are no financial implications associated with this report. The link to the strategic plan is Community and Sustainable Municipal Operations. And the recommendation is that report CL 0726, appointment to Board of Management for the Downtown Improvement Area, be received, and that council approve the appointment of Jess Hasty to the Board of Management for the Downtown Improvement Area for the remainder of the current council term.
Thank you, Vicki. Any discussion? None online. All in favor of CL 0726?
In favor.
That is carried. Thank you. Item 12.5 is report DCS 0726. The subject is the Saugeen Municipal Airport bookkeeping role. It's from Yelena Savic, our Director of Corporate Services and Treasurer. I need a mover and seconder before Yelena highlights the report. Councillor Hudson and Councillor Sacco. Yelena, please.
Thank you, through you, Your Worship. The Saugeen Municipal Airport, or SMA, is operated through a commission model that includes municipal representation, including the Town of Hanover. We participate in the commission through an appointed representative. Under the governing agreement for the SMA, management and oversight of the airport's operations are entrusted to the commission. The commission is responsible for appointing an auditor and providing audited financial statements to all three partner municipalities. The airport's budget is approved through the SMA commission, and the town's proportionate share is then incorporated into our overall levy. The audited financial results of the airport are also consolidated within our own financial results. So since October 1st, 2019, the Town of Hanover has taken over the bookkeeping role of the airport. That has evolved from simple entries of transactions into translating their budget, long-term financial planning, contract management, inventory management, asset management. All of basically the financial backbone of the SMA has been done by Town of Hanover staff. This creates several imbalances when it comes to what the town is responsible for producing, which is the audited financial statements, and what control we have or what input we have into the operations of the airport, or what visibility we have into the operations of the airport. So I've highlighted a couple of examples that have come up throughout this audit process, and there's many more that illustrate the fact that the town is producing the financial statements for the airport, managing all of the transactions for the airport, and basically attesting to the financial statements as being representative of the financial position of the organization without having sufficient visibility into the day-to-day operations of the airport. So we are essentially taking on a level of risk that doesn't tie into the level of operational visibility that we have with the airport. So essentially, the recommendation in this report is to shift financial management back to the Saugeen Municipal Airport. I think this is a good time to do that as the SMA looks to expand, looks to take on additional grant funding. I think having that expertise in-house is critical for their long-term success and sustainability. It's also critical for the town's long-term sustainability as our operations increase in complexity, as our capital program increases on an annual basis. So with all of that in mind, the recommendations in this report are that report DCS 0726 be received for information, that council direct staff to work with the Saugeen Municipal Airport Commission to transition financial stewardship responsibilities back to the airport, consistent with the airport's governance model, with an effective date of January 1st, 2027. And that council affirmed that the town's primary financial responsibility is to its own operations and taxpayers, and that town financial systems, controls, and staff capacity should not be relied upon as ongoing substitutes for financial governance and administrative capacity at external organizations. With that, I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Open for questions, comments? None online, none in the chambers. Okay, no questions, no comments. All right, all in favor of DCS 0726?
In favor.
That is carried. Item 12.6 is report DCS 0826. The subject is the final tax rate for 2026. It's from Yelena Savic, our Director of Corporate Services and Treasurer, and I need a mover and seconder to put this on the floor before it is highlighted. Moved by Deputy Mayor Dickert, seconded by Councillor Fleet. Yelena?
Thank you, through you, Your Worship. So this report is basically the formalization of the 2026 mayoral budget. So with the adoption of the 2026 mayoral budget, the expenses of the town were identified. All of the revenue sources that we could scrounge up were subtracted from those expenses, and the resulting levy was the $10.06 million. That levy cannot be collected legally by the town unless we have a bylaw authorizing us to collect that levy, and that bylaw spells out exactly which property tax class contributes which portion of that levy. So for the town, the tax rates are set at the county level, so we have no control over that. The education tax rates are set by the Ministry of Education. We have no control over that. Essentially, the only thing we have control over is our own expenditures. And based on that and the levy requirement, we've mapped out what that looks like for specific types of properties across the town. As I mentioned in the November budget report, about 77% of the town's assessment base is residential. If the assessment base were more industrial or commercial, the 8% levy increase wouldn't translate to an 8% residential increase. It would translate to something far less than that, which is why part of our ongoing economic development strategy is to push for increased industrial and commercial spaces. So the financial implications at the bottom of this report basically show what the average residential tax bill looks like. So the levy has increased 8.2%, but the town tax rate has only increased 7.7%, and that's that split of that levy across residential, commercial, and industrial properties. The county rate has increased by 4.8%, and the education rate has stayed the same. So when we consider the fact that the town is entitled to about 66 cents for every dollar collected, and we do that math, the total tax rate increase for a residential property is roughly 6.3%, which translates to about $235 annually. The recommendation in this report is that the report be received and that bylaw 3402-26 be approved, confirming the 2026 levy requirement and the tax rates.
Thank you. Comments, questions? And none online. I do have a couple of comments I want to make. This year's budget reflects some real significant pressures across the organization. The overall increase of 8.24%. Within that total is 3.44% comes from council's previous commitments, things like the new police building, our asset management plan, and growth. Police and other board costs make up 2.42% of the increase, while day-to-day operations account for 1.31%. And I do want to commend staff for holding that operational increase to 1.31% while continuing to maintain the services residents rely on. Further, the capital projects add another 1.07%, which brings us to the 8.2% that Yelena was referring to. But looking ahead, I expect next year to be similar as we continue phasing in the loan payments for the new police station. Our goal will be to manage these pressures responsibly while continuing to deliver the services residents depend on. My comments. All right, I'll call the question. All in favor of DCS 0826? 1, 2, 3, 4.
In favor.
That is carried. Thank you. Item 12.7 is report DCS 0926. The subject is delegation of authority for tax relief applications to the Assessment Review Board. It's from Yelena Savic, our Director of Corporate Services and Treasurer. I need a mover and seconder to put this on the floor. Deputy Mayor Dickert and Councillor Hudson. Yelena.
Thank you. Through you, Your Worship. So Section 357 of the Municipal Act establishes the framework under which municipalities can reduce or cancel refund property taxes when certain conditions are met. This is reflective of a range of property-related events, such as changes in use, vacancies, exemptions, demolitions, or damage. Most of these applications are reviewed by staff in conjunction with the Municipal Property Assessment Corporation, MPAC, and then they're basically fact-based and administrative. One of these types of applications, the Section 1D.1, are based on compassionate grounds. So they require consideration of personal, financial, and medical circumstances. Problematically, the Municipal Act does not define things like sickness or extreme poverty. It does not establish criteria or evidentiary standards for determining eligibility under this exemption. So these applications require a very thorough, detailed, nuanced look. And that is currently, without this bylaw, would be done by staff. We've received no such application, but this is just kind of preempting if any of those applications were to arise, what would be the appropriate venue for evaluating eligibility. So council has the authority under Section 357, subsection 11 of the Municipal Act to delegate decision-making powers with respect to applications made under this specific part of the exemptions list to the Assessment Review Board, or the ARB. It's an independent adjudicative tribunal with expertise in property taxation and municipal appeals, and it routinely considers these matters that require detailed and evidentiary review. So if this decision-making power were to be delegated to the ARB, staff and council would not need to review personal, medical, financial details of residents claiming exemptions under this section. So with that, the recommendation is that the report be received for information, that council enact bylaw number 3403-26, and that's a bylaw to authorize the delegation of powers and functions under subsection 3571 and 5 of the Municipal Act to the ARB, or the Assessment Review Board, and that the clerk be directed to provide a certified copy of the bylaw to the registrar of the ARB and to the Municipal Property Assessment Corporation.
Thank you. Open for comments, questions? Councillor Hudson.
Thank you, Your Worship. First of all, you said there are no applications. How would anyone know that they are able to actually apply for such a service? How is that possible? That's my first question. And then the second one is, percentage-wise, do you know how many properties would be in arrears in our town?
Thank you, Councillor Hudson. Those are both very good questions. The first, I'm not entirely sure what MPAC's communications look like with property owners. So if you get your property tax bill and it's in arrears, I'm not sure what their fine print looks like on the back. I would assume they don't advertise that this is an exemption that's available. Our staff do work with property owners on a regular basis. If there's ever an arrears situation, they have one-on-one interaction with our deputy treasurer, and she gives them the full range of options in terms of prepayment plans and those kinds of things. So that's the point at which they would be informed that this is an option. And in terms of the number of properties that are currently in arrears, I don't have that percentage, but that is something that we track on an annual basis. And when we look at it in conjunction with increasing tax rates, we try to kind of look at that as a temperature gauge of affordability in the community. So if that number is rising, then we have a real problem. That's not something that we've seen to date. So I will get back to you with the actual numbers, and I can get back to council more broadly with like what the trend has looked like. And I don't mean to do that. I don't think the trend has done that. But what the trend has looked like in terms of the proportion of properties that are in arrears.
That would be great. Thank you.
So Yelena, can you just explain? So this isn't an exemption of paying taxes. This may be more of an extension. Is that correct? If something was to fit in this application.
So under this application, it would be an exemption of the tax for the particular time period and for the particular amount. And that is defined very broadly. It could be an exemption, full exemption for the full amount for the full year. It could be a 50% exemption. It could be anything like that. And that's where the ARB would come in and dictate what the appropriate exemption would look like. But it wouldn't be a forever exemption on all taxes levied for the property in perpetuity. So it's a fine line, and exemption, I think, is maybe not the right term. But yeah.
Any other questions or comments? All right, all in favor of DCS 0926. That is carried. Item 13 is committees of council minutes. We have 4 sets of minutes and 2 subcommittee minutes. And just for anyone following along in the package, we're on page 99. So I need a mover and seconder for these sets of minutes before they're highlighted. Councillor Sackle and Councillor Cable. The first one, 13.1, is the Planning Advisory Committee minutes from May the 12th, and Andrew is going to highlight those minutes.
Thank you, Your Worship. Yes, the Planning Advisory Committee minutes from May the 12th. Unfortunately, we did not have quorum for that meeting. There were quite a few others present online. Therefore, the Secretary Treasurer, myself, provided some information on the agenda items. Specifically, we talked about an update to the town's official plan process, and that staff would be coming to council with Dana from COBIDE on a shared report as to the status of that. Now that the boundary adjustment work has been completed, what that means for us and what our next steps are here to hopefully finalize that official plan working towards the end of the year. Secretary Treasurer also mentioned that development charge study background work is starting to gain some traction again now that the boundary adjustment is completed. So the DC background work is hopefully being finalized, and we can have something before council here this summer as well on that DC background work. Minor variance application was mentioned and explained. It was for an accessory building at 180 13th Ave A. They were seeking relief on a exterior workshop. And items 6 and 7 were two-part lot control applications that council heard at our last council meeting that ultimately were granted.
Thank you. And of course, if there's any questions, just raise your hand. Item 13.3 is the Economic, Tourism and Cultural Development Advisory Committee minutes. Councillor Sackle.
Thank you, Your Worship. So the Economic, Tourism and Cultural Development Advisory met on May the 20th. And I'm looking at number 2, the April 1st minutes for the regular Cultural Roundtable Subcommittee. Pat Butler reported on the Cultural Symposium that was held in Arthur on April the 24th, and Hanover was represented amongst that group. She also talked about the community players hosting the Western Ontario Drama League Festival at the Civic Theatre here in Hanover and the Carriage House. She reminded us about the community players play Unnecessary Farce, which ran from April 24th to May 3rd. Then number 3, Jason Ron reported on the regular Heritage Subcommittee meeting. He said that a delegation was presenting on former Hanover residents Eva and Jordan Musgrove. Jordan Musgrove was killed in action during the Second World War, and the presentation shed light on aspects of the family's history that were previously unknown to the Heritage Committee. Jason Ron also advised that the committee received a significant donation related to the Hanover's boxing heritage. Through contact initiated by the donor, the town received the Tommy Burns Boxing Hall of Fame medal, originally presented to Burns in 2000. So that's pretty nice. The medal was donated by the donor's widow and will be displayed as part of Hanover's heritage collection. As soon as we get a cultural center, it'll be there. He further noted that the windows and time posters are being updated and will be distributed in downtown businesses in early June with refreshed content reflecting current businesses and building histories. April, Marshall presented the final BR&E action plan roadmap, and we heard all about that tonight. The downtown plan, April reported that it's complete. There was a public house held on May the 28th in the Saugeen Room where the public had an opportunity to share some feedback on that. And there's going to be a delegation presentation to council for June the 15th. April reported on 7.1.2 on the Saugeen Municipal Airport as well, talking about the business growth and development that we plan to see at the airport. And there was a media release regarding Allen Aircraft Maintenance. Gerald Allen is ready to build a building on the site. It's going to be a large hangar at the airport right by the fuel pumps, he tells me. I do want to make a correction in this airport report. That day at the Airport Appreciation event, we had an opportunity to unveil a memento for 2 people that were most important to the airport. And the notes say Civits, but that is the wrong name and spelling. It's Connie and Ross Sibbett, Sibbitt. I just wanted to make that correction for everyone. 7.1.3, Saugeen Connects and Wowza. April reported that the student startup program sponsorships are in place and the applications closed May 8th. Approximately 80 applications were received. So that just tells you how popular that program is. But we only have funding for 50. And the applications are under review. Wowza is celebrating another successful season with 2 remaining events before the summer break, which includes a golf event and an annual wellness day. And finally, 7.1.6 on the clean energy frontier. April supplied copies of the Community Resiliency Report to members who were interested. And there was a unique opportunity for Southwestern Ontario Isotope Coalition members to tour McMaster University's nuclear research facility that was being offered in June. And the annual Clean Energy Conference is once again being planned for October. And I think that's all to report on that particular committee, Your Worship.
Thank you. you can continue with the cultural roundtable.
Thank you. The Cultural Roundtable Subcommittee met on Wednesday, April the 21st. And one of the business arising from minutes points was a discussion regarding Doors Open. Doors Open is currently not a feasible option for the Cultural Roundtable due to the number of sites and the number of volunteers that are required. But April did tell us that Grey County may be considering Doors Open. So if people are interested in that, they might want to go to Owen Sound. I'm moving now to 3.3 downtown street banners. There were 25 submissions from the Saugeen Artists Guild for consideration to update the downtown street banners. And this was a lot of fun because April let the committee members vote and score each submission using the judging criteria that she handed out. And Lindsay McLean is collecting the scoring sheets, and they are going to determine which of those designs are going to be manufactured this year. So stay tuned for that. 3.4 Poetry Month, Carolyn Caskinet shared that 10 businesses participated in that. And perhaps you've seen the poems in the store windows. I know I did. The Joint Cultural Roundtable that Hanover shares with Minto and Wellington North. We're once again going to do that cultural bus tour, which has been enjoyable. I've done both years now. And it's going to be on October the 3rd. That's a Saturday. We may be stopping at Bev Morgan's artistic studio in her basement as part of the fall studio tour and a visit to the entertainment district. She also shared Driftscape positive results. If you're not using that yet, it should be on your phone. And cultural plan review. April presented the Town of Hanover Cultural Plan, and many of the actions have been implemented since the creation in 2019, and committee members further discussed planning a youth talent event for the fall of this year. And I think that's all for that committee as well.
Thank you. One more.
And finally, the Hanover Heritage Subcommittee minutes. Now, I know I shared some good points about heritage already, so I'm going to jump to 4.1, Child Remains Update. Al Morrow advised the burial ceremony is forthcoming and a date will be shared with the committee upon confirmation. So I can't tell you if that's happened already or not. I don't know. I'm on 7.1 now, potential internship opportunity. Members discussed a potential internship opportunity with a Mohawk College student, and Laura Kristen was been directed to work with the student to see if her program requirements can be met through a partnership with the Hanover Public Library. Once again, a comment on windows and time posters. They've been refreshed, and a call was made for people to volunteer. So Jason Ron and Mark McKenzie have volunteered to assist in distributing those. Under the Historical Homes Update 7.3, the committee reviewed the building recognition sign guideline, and they provided some updates. And lastly, under 7.5 P&H Center display, historical paintings is going to be the next topic, and Al Morrow will complete the new display prior to July the 1st. And if there are any questions on those three committees' minutes, I'd be happy to try to answer those. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't see any hands raised, so we'll move on. Item 13.3 is the Parks, Recreation, and Culture Advisory Committee minutes. Councillor Hudson is going to highlight those.
Thank you, Your Worship. The PRC met on Tuesday, May the 26th. We started off the meeting with a delegation from the Hanover Aerials Gymnastics Club, who have been in our community for over 20 years. They presented a great deal of information to us. They're very keen on fundraising. They raise about $2,000 a season. They are getting participants from all over Grey Bruce, and boys and girls, eliminating the stereotype of only girls being gymnasts. They have a very low cost in order to facilitate as many children as they can do. And I'll just mention too that they're having a fun day on Saturday, June the 22nd at the gymnastics. So that might be something that you would want to take in. For information, we did get a letter from a youth citizen requesting some upgrades to the skate park and a rail to enhance their skateboarding experience. Also, there are a couple of, we provided support in order to get some upgrades. So they're putting forward a grant for the LED lighting upgrade for the Kinsman Ballpark as a Stream 1 repair. And then also we have given support for the application for pavilion replacement and parking lot paving project at the Kinsman Ballpark, which is also a Stream 2 grant that's available, which is building new and transformative facilities, including replacement for aging infrastructure, of which that Kinsman Ballpark is. The splash pad is now open, as well as the disc golf baskets are out, and so that is all available and ready for action.
Thank you. And one final set of minutes for this committees of council minutes. It is the Hanover Walkerton Waste Management Committee minutes. Deputy Mayor Dickert.
Thank you, Your Worship. Items that were discussed at our May 12th meeting included the styrofoam collection trailer has been removed from the site and the area has been cleaned up around there as styrofoam is now collected in the provincial-run curbside recycling program. We reviewed the 2025 annual monitoring report. Some of the highlights from that report, there's two reports that we monitor to determine landfill capacity. One is the tonnage being received. The other is the airspace or volume at which the landfill capacity is being used. The airspace is the actual primary factor in determining the lifespan of the site. In 2025, the volume received or airspace used was 7,044 meters cubed, which represents a 35% decrease compared to the previous 3-year average. Based on that total, the capacity of our site is 411,000 m cubed, and there's 286,000 remaining, which equates to about 37 years. However, it is important to remember that is just an estimate. Manager McCarthy credits the improved compaction activities as a contributing factor to the reduced volume rates at the site. There was a total of 7,445 tons of waste received at the site, which was higher than the tonnage reported in 2024. About 595 tons of material are diverted through segregation and recycling, which includes electronics and plastic film. In 2025, there was a total of almost 7.5 million liters of leachate hauled off-site by South Sanitation, which is a 60% increase from the volume collected and hauled off in 2024. The main reason for that increase is attributed to the construction of Cell 3, and that leachate is collected and hauled and divided up between the Hanover landfill or wastewater treatment facility and the Brockton site. The volume of leachate is what is driving the proposed pipeline to the wastewater treatment plant as a more cost-effective way of treating that necessary activity. Seagull populations present at the site ranged daily from 0 to 42 birds, averaging 25 per day. The total number of seagulls counted in 2025 increased to 1,319 from a 2024 report of 769, and Manager McCarthy shared that due to the extensive staff changes, the reporting had to be an estimate based on data from 6 months only, and the seagull population continues to be monitored closely. We also discussed the current practice of compost-only vehicles being allowed to enter without crossing the scales. There are no changes planned at this point in time, but they will continue to monitor that privilege for any abuse. And those are my updates. Thank you.
Very good. Any comments or questions for Deputy Mayor Dickert? Seeing none, that is the last set of minutes. So the motion moved by Councillor Sackle, seconded by Councillor Cable, is to receive the information and approve the recommendations contained in the minutes that were just highlighted. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. Item 14 is bylaws. We have 3 bylaws. I need a mover and seconder before I ask the clerk to give the intent of the bylaws. Moved by Deputy Mayor Dickert, seconded by Councillor Cable. Vicky, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. Bylaw number 3402-26 is a bylaw to adopt the estimates of the sums required for the town of Hanover, DIA, Upper Tier County of Grey, and Education for the year, and to strike the rates of taxation for the same, and to further provide for penalty and interest in default of payment for 2026. Bylaw 3403-26 is a bylaw to delegate authority to the Assessment Review Board to exercise certain powers and functions of council pursuant to Section 357(1)(d)(1) of the Municipal Act 2001. And Bylaw 3404-26 is a bylaw to authorize backflow prevention requirements within the town of Hanover.
Thank you. It's been moved by Deputy Mayor Dickert, seconded by Councillor Cable, that bylaw numbers 3402-26 through to 3404-26 be introduced and that they be taken as read a first, second, and third time, finally passed, signed by the mayor and the clerk, sealed with the seal of the corporation, and inserted in the bylaw book. Is there any further discussion? Councillor Cable.
Thank you, Your Worship. Perhaps I missed this, but in the report regarding water meter installations, it references the 1991 bylaw and then discusses a proposed new bylaw, which is attached. So just wondering if that is coming at a future meeting or whether that's, I guess I didn't see it in the list of bylaws at the end of the package.
Through your worship, yeah, the intent was just attaching the 1991 bylaw as it is. It discussed at the end of the report, we will have to produce a new bylaw that will accompany the RFP results to allow us some additional securities to move forward.
Excellent, thank you.
Any other comments or questions? All in favor? That is carried. Item 15 is correspondence requiring action. So I will ask Vicky, our Legislative Services Clerk, to highlight the request and the proclamation for the flag raising, please.
Thank you.
Do you want me to get the mover and seconder first, or shall we just, okay, go ahead.
We'll go ahead and review the request, and then if council wishes to make a proclamation and fly the flag, then we can have a mover and seconder at that time. The Grey Bruce Elder Abuse Prevention Network is a group of organizations and individuals that are dedicated to preventing elder abuse within the two counties through public education and awareness. One of the key opportunities to draw attention to elder abuse is through recognizing World Elder Abuse Awareness Day, which occurs on June 15th. World Elder Abuse Awareness Day was launched in 2006 to recognize the significance of elder abuse as a public health and human rights issue. The Grey Bruce Elder Abuse Prevention Network is requesting that Hanover Council approve the proclamation of June 15th, 2026 as World Elder Abuse Awareness Day in the town of Hanover, and that the World Elder Abuse Awareness flag be flown at the Civic Center from June 15th to June 22nd, 2026. And the organization has provided a proclamation for council's endorsement.
Thank you. Council, in favor of raising the flag on the 15th and the proclamation? Moved by Councillor Hudson, seconded by Councillor Sackle. So they have asked for the mayor to be present, and I don't know if any other members of council are available. Go ahead.
I would just like to confirm that the seniors committee, the age-friendly committee, has indicated they would attend the flag raising as well, any of those members that are available.
That's good. So if I'm to attend, I am only available on the 15th at 9 a.m. or 3 p.m. So we'll let you arrange that, Vicky? Okay, good. All right, so it's been moved by Councillor Hudson, seconded by Councillor Sackle, that we raise the flag on June the 15th. It will be flown until the 22nd, and we have a proclamation to go with that. All in favor? That is carried. So you have that 9 or 3 p.m. because that is a council date. So item 16, are there any notices of motion? Seeing none. 17, item 17 is good news and celebrations. Anyone want to start? Councillor Sacco.
Thank you, Your Worship. Well, I'd like to say a few words about the Home and Lifestyle Show at the PNH on May the 23rd and 24th. I would like to give a special thanks to Brooke Benniger for all of her hard work in organizing and inviting vendors. And we had a number of new vendors this year at the PNH Center to spend the weekend. I was spending time directing them to restaurants in the area as well. I hope that that worked out. And it's a great deal of work for Brooke to do, but you know, she makes it look so easy. And I do hope that she has her voice back by now. Thank you.
Yes, she was losing her voice. Anyone else? Councillor Hudson.
Thank you, Your Worship. I just wanted to mention to the viewing public that the Hanover Public Library is putting on a murder mystery dinner on Friday, June the 19th at the Hanover Legion. It's a Greek murder mystery with food themed as well. There will be 50-50 tickets, raffle prizes, and the last murder mystery that they did at the Curling Club was very successful. So just letting people know that this one should be a great event, and tickets are available at Holst's Office Supplies.
Thank you. Okay, staff, any updates? Anything you want to share? Yelena.
Thank you. Through Your Worship, I have one thing to plug, and that is the 2027 budget survey that we are conducting. We have it on our website. We have paper copies available at the PNH Center, the library, and at Town Hall. It is intended to ask residents how they view our budget, how they view our budget communications, and how they view the services that we're providing in the context of a potentially difficult budget season ahead. I think it would be very important to have that kind of feedback. So yeah, I would appreciate anyone filling it out, passing it on to their neighbors, throwing it into their yards, whatever you need to do to get it to as many people to fill it out as possible. That would be wonderful. Thank you.
Right. All right. Sherry, anything? No? Okay. Andrew.
Through Your Worship, just two things that people will see at the end of July, early August, the new water tower will be online. And at the start of August, the old water tower, you will see that company mobilize and decommissioning and removal will start in August, and it's slated to last about 3 months. So.
Very good. Okay. All right. Item 18, upcoming committee meetings. The dates are listed on this agenda and on our website. Are there any dates that need to be changed? Deputy Mayor Dick.
Thank you, Your Worship. The Saugeen Mobility meeting is actually Thursday, June 4th. That was changed to accommodate the report that was supposed to come about the transportation program across the two counties. That is now changed, but we decided to stay with our meeting on June 4th. So there is a change there, and the June 12th one has been canceled.
Okay. All right. Item 19 is important dates and announcements. The next regular council meeting is Monday, June the 15th at 4 p.m. And we do have a finance committee meeting on Monday, June 22nd at 4 p.m. We do not have a closed meeting, so we are on to our confirmation of proceedings bylaw. I need a mover and seconder before Vicky gives us the intent. Moved by Councillor Hudson, seconded by Councillor Cable. Vicky?
Thank you, Your Worship. Through you, bylaw number 3405-26 is the bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the June 1st, 2026 regular council meeting.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor Hudson, seconded by Councillor Cable. that bylaw number 3405-26 be introduced and taken as read a first, second, and third time, finally passed, signed by the mayor and the clerk, sealed with the seal of the corporation, and inserted in the bylaw book. All in favor? That is carried. We have one final motion, and that is to adjourn at 5:54, moved by Councillor Fleet, seconded by Deputy Mayor Dickert. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you.